you.
So I'm just wondering, is anybody going to do anything about the library being converted into a homeless shelter? Because I can't even take my kids there anymore since there's adults out in the open watching pornography and doing drugs, and they're not told to leave. Like I used to take my kids there all the time, and all the young mothers that I talked to have the same problem. Like it's grimy there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely,
Library.
you know, one of the,
Yeah,
I've
Lisa.
been the biggest proponent for making sure that we, first off, keep our libraries open 7 days a week. We almost shut down library service on Sunday. So I definitely want to make sure that our libraries are used for what they were intended for. But as the library director, Mary Jo Togenson, will tell you, you know, the library has also morphed a bit, and it has taken on a new component that it definitely didn't think it would. And they are trying to adjust to that new reality. But frankly, I don't know. I'll keep talking with the library director to make sure that some of those issues you address, we take care of, because I don't think children should be necessarily subject to some of those things.
Was it Sheila or Vicky had their hand up?
I had my hand up, but I give up.
Okay. Don, why don't you jump in?
Just briefly on that is, you know, it is a public library, and even if you're homeless and poor and grungy and disgusting looking and vile, whatever you are, no matter how vile you are, you can be clean and neat and vile. It's a public library open to everybody, and we have to learn to live with that, people who are like us or not.
Then we should put up pediculi spray units when they come into the library.
Well, it's not watching porn and doing drugs in the open.
Yeah, that's
It's
inappropriate, but it's
It's
open to
illegal.
all people. Now, in the kids section,
vagrancy.
well, vagrancy is not illegal. In the kids section, you have to be there with an adult, so they have it closed off. So your kids aren't in there with some vagrant that bothers you. They are separated from that. So
Is watching porn and shooting heroin in the open
inappropriate,
legal?
but the people are allowed to be there. They're citizens just like you.
Well, yeah, but they're doing those things though.
Yeah, that can stop, but the people can be there.
Yeah, let's just have two more comments. Vicky, did you have that?
I give up too.
No, okay.
Yeah, so I don't get to take my kids to the parks that I used to take them to anymore because my son literally physically ran into someone shooting up heroin. Okay, and I can't take them to that library either because of the same situation. And it would be, I would rather have the library be shut a few days a week and save the money and maybe get the homeless situation out of the library than have that going on and have people that do pay taxes not be able to take their kids anywhere. So it's upsetting.
Okay, one more. Patty, did you have your hand or not?
Well, I'll ask Dick, because he can answer it.
My issue with the homeless, and I agree with doing something, but the reason why people didn't go to Brother Francis Shelter or do the others is because they can't go in there when they're drunk and they're using drugs and everything else. And so no matter how much you build the homeless shelter, you have to be able to somehow get them to go there. Now, I know Phoenix gave up on some of their hopeless alcoholics and everything else, so they had homeless where the people, after 3 times of trying to go recovery, gave up, and they let them drink in there. And they said, you know, they're going to stay there and they're going to die and everything else, but they're going to do. How are we going to really direct people with the ones that are homeless, who are right now addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol? They're not going to want to go into any facility where they're limited on what they can do in that facility. And they're just like Brother Francis Shelter, they'll go out there and find a camp off of 4th Avenue someplace else, 3rd Avenue, and do it there so that they can drink. So I'm not sure how much the homeless shelter is going to be able to direct people that are the biggest problem on the homeless.
3 years ago, the rescue mission on Tudor Road went to zero alcohol. In other words, they test you for alcohol content when you come in, and they're successful and they're thriving. Their mission. I tried to get the Brother Francis to do the same thing. They won't do it. They said they'll take anybody that will not test them for alcohol. So you get what you've got going in there. The rescue mission, they stepped up the plate. We saw the violence and the garbage around. Rescue mission shut way down. Don't try to get Brother Francis to adopt a zero alcohol policy. They won't.
But if they do, then the people will want to be in homeless shelter, be out homeless and in a camp before they go anyplace else.